Arkanasi 64 here, Ripon Racecourse today. Is it the 10th time, maybe even now? It's one of the racecourses I made a tragic spreadsheet of racecourses I've been to, and I was looking at it recently and I thought, I think racecourse, I've been there 10 times already, and I thought, good grief, I can, it's about 30 odd.
Platform 1 does not stop here. Please stand well clear of the edge of platform 1.
Well, good, that's not my train anyway. I was going to say, actually, I've got a very strange direction in it, Tam. It takes 3 hours Newcastle to Harrogate, and that's not a delay. It literally, train is so expensive that I split the ticket via sort of Darlington, actually changing Northallerton, and it's Northallerton to York to Popperton, a station I've vaguely heard of. This is where I'm changing at. So it's that changing at York, changing to Popperton, and then to Harrogate, and then a bus to Ripon, and the artery is flying through here. Obviously not stuck on the Harrington today, this one. Yeah, it's 3 hours, it's madness really. I mean, let's just save some money. I say trains are just too expensive, and it's a bus to Ripon for 36. Very nice walk along Ripon. I've put this up in the past. I might link to it here actually if I can find the video. Towards the end of this video I'll link here. Very nice walk along the canal to Ripon, along with Cartmel, Fakenham, and the other one. The one nicest walks to Racecourse. Windsor are actually quite nice. If you're staying in Windsor, it's a nice walk along the canal I took time before. And there's another one I completely forgotten which walk. I remember I'll say. It's a very nice walk to Racecourse. Yeah, so it's a decent enough way. What's the meeting's not great. It was a very good race. I can't remember the race. I put that up, but I can't remember what race I'm going to is. But it's a valuable race. Rest of the car's not great, to be honest with you, but it's okay. 8 races, split race in the middle of the day on a split handicap. A few maiden or two, and a novice race. So there's a couple of things here. More generally about horse racing. One, Nicky Henderson. I'm actually a fan of Henderson, but I'm very surprised what you're saying about State Man. Now, I'm not with the article because I don't have a racecourse subscription, but no one's contradicted it, as in I don't think he's cut out of context. And he was saying that if Constitution Hill had been fit for the champion hurdle, he'd finished by his breakfast by the time State Man finished. And I'm surprised. Henderson, I thought, was better than that, bluntly. I thought it was a bit unnecessary comment in basically insulting another horse. And one of the things I'm thinking of is a very famous champion hurdle in 85, a Brown's Gazette. Brown's Gazette ducked out at the start, there was Sage of odds on, and ducked out at the start of the 85 champion hurdle, and lost about 20 lengths, made his hard jockey Dermot Brown made quite a bit of headway up, and was on terms through home straight, and then weakened, probably just an exertion to make him do a distance up. And he finished, I think, 7th maybe, and an easy win in the end for CU Then, who won 3 champion hurdles in a row, and may won anyway. He was a really top, injury prone, but really top quality hurdler. I was always debates about Brown's Gazette, because Dermot Brown later on, I can't remember, he admitted in the late 80s, I think it was, to stopping racehorses. I can't remember, I think it was stopping off with doping. Was he with doping or pulling racehorses? I can't remember what it was. Obviously, not what you do as a jockey at all. And he was contentious about that. There was a major scandal in the late 80s. Now, of course, the point is, he was on the Brown's Gazette, and no one's sure for definite whether he pulled the horse across and deliberately lost 20 lengths, because he was involved in, obviously, corruption afterwards. But I think he said he wasn't involved then. Well, we don't know. I think he might, whether he admits to it or not, I don't know. But the problem is there, of course, he was a crook, basically, of some ilk, and he just can't trust the word of a crook. So he may or may not have done, but there's always going to be another cloud of a career of Dermot Brown. But of course, no, CU Then was trained by Nicky Henderson. And now, what if you could say Henderson? Well, if Brown's Gazette had ran straight, he would have finished his breakfast by the time before CU Then won the race. And I don't think it would be nice thing to say. And I don't think it would be accurate. But so why's Henderson saying this then? I mean, just because a horse isn't fit or something goes wrong. Tragically, I was thinking also of Laramix, who was cruising along under Colin McCormick champion hurdle. I think I'm pretty sure it was Martin Pike training him down to the second last, and tragically slipped up and had to be put down. and he would almost certainly win the race. But again, are you saying? But he's saying, who wasn't the greatest champ hurdle winner, frankly, 2002 this was, when also Isenbach was pulled up with a slight injury problem. So, would that situation, again, same thing about Vlems, was Roland not a worthy champ hurdle winner? I know he was the greatest champ hurdle winner at all, but he won the race and tried to, and the fact is you have to, Vlems slipped up, but it's like a horse falling, something you have to actually, it's like Goshen and Jim Trine, for example, or Barton Bank when he's trying to win second champion chase. King George. That you have to finish the race, and so in essence, the worthy winner is the horse that wins. So I'm not quite sure. I was thinking, why is Henderson doing this? And I also think the great Sir Michael Stout, interestingly, a horse racing knight, but not from this country. I did know this actually from a while ago. I looked at something on his Wikipedia site. Didn't realise he'd lived in Barbados for 18 years of his life. I didn't actually know he nearly wasn't a trainer, apparently. That is interesting about his past. I read an article on Racing Post about it. After it's when he just retired, age 78. So I know there's some very interesting stuff about the great Michael Stout. But the issue there is Henderson's now early 70s. I can't quite remember how it is. I'm pretty sure he's in early 70s by now. And he can't have that many years left training. I mean, Mickey's to be still going in his 90s. Although, is it son David? David is a good introduction in BHA of joint training licenses. So he's not doing it on his own anymore. But, Henderson, he can't think of that many years left, realistically. And is it possible that maybe, I can't remember which order this was, on Stout's retirement and Henderson's comments about Constitution Hill. I'm not sure which order that happened in. But is Henderson thinking now, he can't, maybe not that years off retirement, does he think Constitution Hill is his last great horse? There's a number of them, of course, over the years. Swinter Sackers is there. Bob's was, of course, when impressive, one of the very rare horses of that period, and to win 3 races at Cheltenham Festival, because they'll see you then. That's where I can't remember many of the others, of course. I was just man Henderson there? No, I think it was actually. Sorry, great horses, I can't remember enough of them. But is he thinking that this is his last great horse? And then he's starting to get a bit defensive, saying, he wants the legacy of this great Constitution, who was a great horse, I have to say, still is. Even though he's only one champion hurdle, and he was in it last year, he was immensely impressive, one of the best champion winners I've ever seen. So, is Henderson looking after it, getting concerned that it's his last great horse? Wants to say, he's a great, but he would have won that champion hurdle. He may well have done, he probably would have done. But it just seems unnecessary to say State Man wouldn't have won. I mean, he was there. Constitution Hill wasn't. Like any sport, you can only beat who turns up. As another example in a different sport, Mike Marsh, 92 Olympic 200 metre final. There's almost certainly one of my favourite athletes of all time, Michael Johnson. I think also not a great athlete, just a great athlete, great presenter as well on the TV. His coach had food poisoning in Barcelona in 92, and he won a shocking race in the 7,200, came unplaced, didn't get to a final because basically he was ill. Yeah, came back way well for the 400 metre relay later in the games. But again, you say, if Michael Johnson had been fit, he would have won. Probably would have done. Well, Michael Johnson, I don't know. I assume he hasn't. He doesn't seem the sort of person to say, Mike only won because I wasn't there. It doesn't. It just wouldn't be a fair thing to state in the same with any other sports thing. That if you only could beat who's in front of you. Another thing I say is about Cheltenham Festival. There's a number of changes. I think we're talking about 6 changes. Some of it more minor, some a bit more major. As a couple came in, and then which was the returners. I always tend to configure races in their official names. So we'll go to Miller Chase, or call it, because that's his official name. And I think because the sponsors can change, I think it's returners. I'm pretty sure because that's when reading it was current sponsor of the race. And also cross country, be going back to handicap. It was handicap when it came in originally 2005 to the festival. Came a conditions racing, came a handicap again. And there's a few more changes since coming in. And there's like more contention. National Chase now can be a limited handicap. And assume still 3-6, and now it's not just amateur riders. That's almost got more contention than the other 2 races that change have been. I think possibly correctly it's contentious. Returners, I call it, Miller Chase. It's becoming what a lot of people are saying, and I think felt that a bit superfluous to requirements. And there's an argument as well, and I think it's an argument. David Journal. I'll come back to who it is. I can't remember. Sorry. So suddenly forgotten who it was. Irish journalist on my TV. Can't remember his name. God knows. I've just got my mind's gone. Was also saying this about originally more about the Bingham hurdle at Cheltenham Festival. Like I said, Ballymore has been with Neptune, two and a half novice hurdle, or whoever it's sponsored these days. I think that could be a bit unnecessary waste, and I think he might be right actually. And certainly a 3-day Cheltenham Festival, I did a video on that once. I might go and link that up here as well. I do how you could work out a 3-day Cheltenham Festival. I have to admit, wasn't some changes I made here. There was ones even I was thinking of. That race would have gone there. So we've got back this race. Went to Sandown now. It was it was named the Centenary Handicap, Novices Handicap Chase when Cheltenham passed its centenary. It's still got that name in Sandown, despite the fact I'm not quite sure why it kept the name there, because there's absolutely no connection to Sandown with the name at all. It's still Cheltenham. But it got that name. It was a 2.5 size. So it's 2.5 Novice Handicap Chase. We moved to Sandown when I think the same time. Was it the same time the Turners came in? Maybe, but I guess he must have done. The only race has gone off of the 6 new Cheltenham Festival races from 2005. So I came in, he just moved to Sandown Park, the Imperial Cup meeting a few days beforehand. I'm assuming that Sandown and Cheltenham have talked here, because they're both owned and run with the Jockey Club. So I'm assuming there's been consultation here, because what happens to that race? I assume it goes back to Cheltenham again. It's happened before. I think the race has gone one place back to its original place. I'm not sure, but races have changed. I mean, Long Hurdle was originally run at Windsor, in fact, before going to Ascot. I think partly when Ascot jumped in '65, I think Long Walk moved because at that point we've got Winter Million shifting around and a bit between Lingford now to Windsor. I mean, jump racing back. Some of that's, I think, races from Lingford are going to Windsor. But if you don't have that changing, you've got the Sandown race. You've got Sandown Novice Chase 2.5 and the Cheltenham Festival a few days later. And obviously I can't believe that's going to happen. So I'm guessing what's going to happen is they're going to have a race switch back to Cheltenham again. But what's the Sandown then? Do they get a race in compensation? Some race instead of that one? I don't know. I don't think the worst changed back again. It's normally it shouldn't have happened in the first place. And 12 mile, I don't think 12 mile was a bad return as a bad race to consider. But in the end, I think it's not really worked out enough. There's too much avoiding each other. They're still the same with the 2.5 mile novice hurdle. I think officially Bingham has the same issue. In addition, with the cross country, now I have to say, the Cheltenham Festival betting guides over the years, done by Weatherby's. Well, our trade coming soon, so I might do the rest of this later on. But I'll just say this, that it's been done by Paul Jones, and I think Matt Toombs later on. I'm not sure, it was really Paul Jones. I think it might be Matt Toombs afterwards. One of them talked about this way, saying certainly when it was still handicap, when it was originally handicap in 2016, and when we went to a Cheltenham Festival, it came a conditions race at that time. But it became pointless as a handicap almost, because it was the pace and everything else, these 3 races around. It wasn't really a proper handicap. It was as much as a conditions race as a handicap, and good horse. And in fact, when it became a conditions race, the same quality horses are winning anyway. So maybe shouldn't have been a conditions race, and then shouldn't have changed back to a handicap. So I think that's the end about cross country. I know York Station. A couple of other changes. Pertemps hurdle. I'm not sure that's an official name actually. Is that a Coral Cup? Always called a Coral Cup because there's no other name for the race. I think like John Smith's handicap at York. I think it's the only name it's ever had since the mid-60s. So that's that race is now you have basically a winner and you're in. If it qualifiers, so you win the qualifier, you automatically get into the race. I think that's fair enough. I don't have a great issue with that. It might lose some of the handicap plots and maybe a bit of I say fun. I mean, you can't. It's just don't take everything too seriously about say handicaps. And a bit of it may not be funny for a different horse, maybe of course the backing or in the connection with a horse that someone sneakily got in with a low handicap weight. But I don't think there's a great. I think there's no great issue about that. May make the qualifiers a bit more competitive, shall we say? And there's a change of handicap. I think is it an extra race or two? I think I can't quite remember, to qualify for the handicap. So no great issue there. There's one other change. I can't remember what it is. But the other one, final one, is a very contentious change from National Chase. That's a Challenge Cup Chase official. I always forget what you technically call it. One of the most well-known races of the Cheltenham Festival. I think it predates the festival. I'm trying to remember. I think it's from the 19th. It comes from late 19th century. I'm not quite sure exactly when it's been. Well, it certainly is, because it's used to read about 140 or whatever it is when they were National Chase. I'm not sure the name says that anymore. Actually, I'm not sure. It used to say, I'm put up here, but it was how many years it been ran. So it certainly predates the festival. And it was 4 miles, went to 3.6 or some contentious races a few years ago. I'm not convinced that was the right decision, to be honest. I think making the race better, making it into a grade 2, wasn't a bad move, really. I remember reading at some point in the 90s, maybe in the mid-late 90s, Alistair Down, of course, from a former TV presenter, journalist and the like, was saying, I think there's an article here, or maybe someone actually quoting him, actually, an article saying he was always backing the slow boat to China for the old race, which was, remember GJD, when they were late 90s, the first time he was on the old rules, first time he did one of the fences, it was actually in the race itself, National Chase, and he came fourth, and the second one he did the fences was the next year when he won the race. I still think it was not exactly a high quality race. So it's a better race. I mean, better horses are winning it. I'm not quite sure if it's the right decision, this, actually. Almost argue that he'd obviously whether broad enough to chase it these days. In fact, it would be more, it's a 3 mile chase, novice chase. Well, that is more surplus requirement to this race. Maybe could have made it a little bit longer and kept this race in, as it was. But I've got to catch it, not just so it's now becoming a novice handicap again as well. But now you've got 2 novice handicaps, 1 2 mile 5 and 3 mile 6 race. And also, and the contentious issue is it's now open to all jockeys, not just amateurs. And amateurs, via Twitter, their organisation has said, well, we weren't consulted about this. Now, I think that's really poor. If that's true, and no consultation at all, or at least he's not consulted on whether they were. There's difference between consultation, as in whether they told about it and were given a chance to give opinions, or whether they're not told at all. And that's a difference to this thing. Or even by consult. If they didn't know at all, that is astonishing, frankly, and not very impressive from BHA. Yeah, they should at least let them know this is happening. Now I got a bit contentious relation myself with that organisation, not BHA. The Amateur Jockeys Association. Sorry, the train coming in now. I'll try and hold on. The Amateur Jockeys Association, because my issue with that, I did another video, and I'll go on this one as well, about Brandy Frost and what we'd done and the situation between the two of them. And frankly, I looked into the issue into this video, and basically I think what we'd done was pretty much bang to rights there, and he was lucky to get his suspension decreased. In fact, he shouldn't have done them, as argument, as Stuart was saying, how badly handled the appeal was by the people winning, by the person charged with the appeal. Did a really bad job of it, and I think that's correct. They certainly did. However, I don't think I can find him. I looked a few times, I can't find it anymore. On Facebook with the Amateur Jockeys, there's an official site for them, organisation or unofficial. But you look at a comment made. John was still in the middle of this course, was still in the middle of being heard, and it was pretty much pro what he'd done. There was a comment made about, not questioning Brian Nicholas as a choir baby. It wasn't put in those terms, but saying, it's just, but no, maybe not too far off, and stating it was, it was just not, it's a matter of a modo. Certainly, he was stating towards being mounted out of a modo. I don't know if you can find it. I'll have a look see if I can find that post, because I was heavily liked by a lot of people, and I thought. No, I wasn't very impressed, frankly, and because I think it was a poor. So the Amateur Jockey Association, I could do one, frankly, because of their attitude to that case was not impressive. It was sort of, well, we don't, it was basically all pub. It was heavily, wasn't anything, as almost a post made, and everyone either is like, no one dislikes the post, and a lot of people liking it. You're talking about well into 60, 70 people. I think that's always an opinion of organisations, frankly, or even members of it. So I'm not overly sympathetic for them. I am sympathetic for amateur riders, not just maybe not their organisation. And what the 28 race thing. Meeting was talking maybe adding a race 2. We're not quite sure what was going on there. Was a race 2 being possibly added in at some point? We talk about 5-day festival. I do not want a 5-day festival. I'm happy with 4 days. I know there's a lot of people say, oh, we want to go up 3 days. It was water-worn grade 1 racing, and as someone say, that's exaggeration for me, of course. But sometimes people just think racing Cheltenham Festival was a hell lot better than it was in the past, and it just isn't. It wasn't. A racing say year 2000. There was a number of races that weren't that great still in that meeting. So, Calf got chased for a start. The race, which had the various guys over its period, had no point whatsoever. National Chase wasn't a great race. It was under this old system. It was. I certainly don't think the racing has definitely, outside some of the championship races, definitely has improved. But certainly I want the 5-day festival things after races. I'm rather 3 days than 5 days. But all the preferably 4 days, 3 days, 5 days. However, a National Chase just a history, and it was, as I just said, it was often, but a long time ago, this decade, early 20th century, was actually a major race for festival. It's Cheltenham. Maybe it was. I don't know if there was Go Cup say, but it was a major race at Cheltenham, a race people wanted to win as amateurs, certainly. And I just think, what I don't quite know why they decided to move away from amateur riders. I don't quite understand it. It doesn't actually make great sense. It left just 2 races now. I was talking to someone saying, why don't you make cross country possibly amateur only? It's just a possibility, but there could be a bit of an issue. It's a tricky race for cross country to run in a big for a jockey, and he'd be like he's at the Grand National or something. But maybe it's not the best race for really relatively inexperienced riders. Well, this race is probably better. They still have the Foot-Worn Kim Muir and the Fox Hunters as amateurs only. But I don't see the reason for it to become professional, to professionals as well. It just seems you might as well, frankly, just get rid of the race. And call it something, and just bring another race in, just so you're getting rid of it, and shove it somewhere. I don't know. Add it to the April meeting, Hunter Chase. We have a Hunter Chase day at April, where what became was originally that United Hunts Chase, which started in the early 70s, was actually until then was actually the Gold Cup race for amateurs, not the Fox Hunters. Fox Hunters was 4 miles into the early 70s. And in fact the United Hunts Chase was the Gold Cup trip for amateur riders, and then when that went, the Gold Cup went to so Fox went to 312. Actually, it might be the Cathcart, that's a race of no point. For a few years, 3 years in the mid-70s, it was actually a Hunter Chase, just for no reason at all, and it stopped being Hunter Chase for no reason at all. And so I think it maybe when that went in the late 70s, maybe that's when Fox went to 312. But that's where United Hunts Chase affects it. I don't think it's called that now, I'm not sure. But the equivalent race now is run at April Hunter Chase meeting at Cheltenham. And maybe Hunter Chase should be moved there. I don't know, maybe make it a more major meeting. Because I don't see what the point of running a completely different race is. It'd be like running the county handicap hurdle as a I'm not handicapped. I'm still calling it a county hurdle. I think, well, why are you calling it? I'm very good with cross country, but that's slightly, I think, different. But a very historic race, why are you calling it that? Or, the Christmas hurdle used to be, Campton, used to be a handicap hurdle. That's originally, and when it came a grade 1, it's like calling it, switching back to handicap hurdle again and calling it Christmas hurdle. I think, well, it was, 30, 40 years, back in the 60s it was. It's not that now. So why mess around with it totally? I don't mind the race being better, improving as a race. It was a historic I was slightly anachronism before rules changed. I'm not sure with the greatest point. So it's a festival. Okay, as say the April meeting, fine, but not as type of festival. But this is ridiculous, bluntly. It's completely changed it to novice handicap chase. Already have a 205 one. Do you need a female 6? I don't quite know what point of doing it is. It's become a good race. I can't remember when it's in the last few years totally, but it's not, I think, any worse away from the other novice chases there. So why have you done this? It's very strange. Yeah, I didn't have a huge amount of sleep last night. I'm actually out clubbing. Nothing to drink at all, or anything else. But going to the academy in Newcastle. First time being in quite a long. Well, no, I went last year actually. I went to a mate to see Leffield. They were very, very good. And the previous time, I'm trying to think who it was. Could be Prodigy. I actually saw Bad Manners there at some point a few years back. I'm trying to think Orbital as well. I made midlife crisis at 52, and I was going into this. I've been to recent times clubbing again. I just feel dance music. I've always been a fan of any sort of music, really. As long as I like music, basically. And oddly enough, yesterday at 1 o'clock, I was at Iona Brown, very excellent performer of the Royal Northern Symphonia, and a pianist who, I don't know the name of. I played very excellent Brahms 1 hour concert at Little Field in Newcastle. And also I like going free twice a month to a free jam event at the Newcastle Arts Centre at the Jazz Cafe Newcastle Arts Centre. So I have a wide range of musical tastes. It's like a musical I don't, basically. But yeah, I was at this thing, East End Dubs. A guy I'd never heard of before. I looked at my YouTube and looking at things to do. That'll do. That's decent enough. But I said I've gone to Cobalt Studio. The issue there partly is, but some of the sort of dance music stuff's good. It's just too irregular. Like there's a few months gaps and through the club nights. But also it's a bit small Cobalt. I think your column's a bit big. I mean, it's like in the middle. I think it's more intimate Cobalt, but it can be a bit sort of crowded. While Academy seems, well, it is also a bit crowded. It's bloody huge, frankly, in comparison to Cobalt's area. But that's good enough, and I hung around till 2 o'clock in the morning. It's actually a 10 to 4 o'clock event. Then Dubs is a support actor, I can't remember the name of it as ever, was good for the first 2 hours, and I hung around till 4. Partly I knew I had to get up at 7:35. I didn't, and I come too tight to pay for a taxi. It takes 45 minutes to walk home from to my home in Desmond. So I got home at 2:45. I didn't really fancy about 3 hours sleep, to be honest, less than 3 hours sleep, to be honest. And also, I moved too much weight on recently, and I've done some weight training, and I did a few deadlifts a few days back, and I may pinch some nerves. Because my back, I changed my leg, which actually sounds strange, but it's in my leg, but some of the pinch your nerve, it can hear pain can go to different parts of your body, and it switched around a little bit. More than it was doing it a bit more than a few days ago. It was switching about just parts of the leg, and what happens when it's pain in one part or switches around, but it's always never the same part of the body, and so it's never more one pain in one place at the same time, so it's switching all the time. I think it's a pinched nerve, that may have happened, and they just my back of my left right calf, something's been acted up last couple of days, and it was all the time in there. It was just a bit of pain, so I stood up all the time. I didn't fancy dancing, but partly because the calf was acting up, partly putting much weight on, but it was just so I didn't wish I could hang on much longer than 2 o'clock in the morning anyway, because it was getting a little uncomfortable, bluntly. Well, that's my exciting time, and I've got some board games to play tomorrow. I'm going to walk somewhere in Preston, that's Preston Village in North Shields, not Preston in Lancashire. And I've got some board games to play tomorrow, and then some stuff to do on Monday, but that is the end of the horse. Well, end of this event. I don't know if I'll say anything later on, but that's the end of this part anyway. I appreciate it's not an easy job being raced as a commentator, but basically you've got to get the name of the horses right. And I don't know, now that's not, there's always been having a decent commentator who used to do the Grand National, one of the commentators of Grand National, but I'm sort of back straight, and I think maybe a bit where Tony Hare and the Australian demographic are doing it, I think he might do that period. But you just got to get a horse with a name White, and he's predicted to make one of their horse's name. According to him, it's a horse called Mr. Sky Blue. Maybe a fan of, say, Coventry City, I don't know. And it's a bit of a pun on Mr. Blue Sky, the ELO song. But he spent Barrow and the entire race, and plus a bit before, according to him, Mr. Blue Sky. And you've just got, I mean, owners of papers, one of the horses you think, well, at least they've come to get the name right. And I think he's just got to get that right, and I'm afraid it's a bit unimpressive. Yeah, I'm trying to see if we can see this rabbit. It's a rabbit in the middle of the flowers. And I should go in, but I'm really away from it. Somewhere in there. I saw some ears that twitch just about 10 seconds ago, but of course I can't now see anything. There is a rabbit in those flowers. And it's now not moving, which is very selfish of it. I mean, Bugs Bunny, where are you? Move you rabbit. Oh. Well, you've got pictures of flowers at a minute. Oh, very nothing else. Better move when I turn this camera off.